everyone wants to be successful, and I have always, since my childhood, I wanted to be a successful person.
I feel like that's not background contact, that's the fuel of becoming something, right?
Now, of course, I want to do this. I know what I want to do. I want to build the business, and I have a clear vision. But at that point, when I was starting out, it was just no one is out there, handing a job for you just because you have learned the skill.
The people who really wanted to do something also did something incredible during those times.
Even though I have built it from scratch, but this is mine. It's a privilege to have that, right?
You started from a modest background with just ambition and a second-hand laptop.
And I knew, okay, now I can start earning. I had to pause my dream of doing MBA for that period of time, and I knew okay, I have to do something.
Hello everyone. So today's guest, she didn't start with money or fancy connection, just a second-hand laptop and big dreams, and built a $1 million business from that. She helped people get into Forbes, go viral on LinkedIn, and land big investors. And she retired her dad at 24. This is lovely. We are talking about how she turned her struggle into success, and especially when people didn't think she could do it. Welcome, lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. That was very sweet. And yeah, I'm quite excited to be, talking to you on the podcast. I have heard and, listened to the podcast as well and heard such great things about it. So yes, it's exciting that I got invited to speak, and I'm very, very looking forward to the session.
I'm also very excited to have you on my podcast because when I was going through your LinkedIn and your post, I was so inspired. Whatever you're doing is very awesome, and we will discuss it in this podcast. So, let's start with my first question. Your story has a very unique thing. You started from a modest background with just ambition and a second-hand laptop. Is truly very inspiring. Okay, so how did those early challenges your mm, shape the way you have built your personal brand and the business you are doing right now?
That's a great question because I do believe like we are what we belong from, right? Our upbringing, our where we belong from. That is what builds us the build the core of us. Of course, we learn, we grow, and we do everything, but the core remains same. So yes, I do come from a very very lower middle family, and the starting of freelancing didn't come from any like I didn't plan to start freelancing and business. I only wanted to follow the usual path, which is corporate. I wanted to graduate. I wanted to get it done to my MBA and just get into corporate. That was my plan. But because COVID happened and all the families, everyone suffered in some way or other, and in my family also, like we were suffering financially in some way or other. So, and that at that point, I knew that I had to do something to support my family financially, and I was graduating at that year, and I knew okay, now I can start earning. I had to pause my dream of doing MBA for that period of time, and I knew ki, I have to do something. And because so there were so many restrictions everywhere, you can go out, you can do this, do that. I started doing some online research, and I came across the world of online business and freelancing, and that's how I actually got started. I had a second-hand laptop that barely worked, that was so slow that I couldn't even function in it properly. But I knew, okay, let's get started. We will go somewhere, and then we can, invest and get upgrade in terms of the quality of the products that we are using. So yeah, that was exactly it. It was not really fueled by any ambition to okay, I have to build a business. It was only at that point of time I have to support my family. But when you have that kind of purpose in your head, right, you have no option to stop, so you keep going and going. And that's how the business acumen got built. Now of course I want to do this. I know what I want to do. I want to build the business, and I have a clear vision. But at that point when I was starting out, it was just like a mere thought of supporting my family financially and got just to get financially independent myself, so that I can fuel my future dreams, which was at that point doing an MBA. So yeah, that's how I actually got started, and the role that has my family played in building that career has been immense, right? The kind of trust they have put in me, the kind of support that they've given me is what have built me what I am today. So yeah, I'm really grateful for my background, for my upbringing. It was not something that was given to me by the news, but I knew that whatever I have been given, I will make the most out of it, and I did. So yeah, that would be my answer.
That's great. That's a very great story. Of course, everyone suffered in COVID, but I think the people who really wanted to do something also did something incredible in during those times. Okay, which leads me to my next question. You just started out; you didn't had any experience for business or something. So when you started out, what was more challenging, like learning to do business or making yourself convinced that I can do it?
Oh, that's a good question, I would say, because it's true. When you are starting something, you are of course starting from scratch, right? You are learning the skill, and especially in freelancing, you are not just learning the skill. No one is out there, handing a job for you just because you have learned the skill. You have to find the clients. You have to build your portfolio. You have to build your own, work credentials. So it's all you. You have to do everything that's from scratch. So even then, that part is easy. Doing all those things is easy than convincing yourself that you can do it, because mindset is always the biggest issue for most of the people, and I am no exception as well. I am still bare, like, I'm very mentally resilient. I know I have like weird self belief in myself that I can do everything. But even there were moments, because I had no backup, I had no options. I had to think through a lot of things. I had to think, and like convince my mind that okay, this is a good path. I can do this. I can build something from this. That was really difficult. And especially in the moments where the failures were more. At the beginning, the rejections were like endless. Everyone would not be accepting of your work. So the rejections would hurt you if you let it. So convincing your mind that okay, this is just the part of the process and this is not the end of it. Even if someone is rejecting me today, I will build my credentials and I will, back better projects. So that convincing to your mind to keep going, to, not give up in that process is very difficult. And I have faced that to myself.
For sure, being one man army, you can work hard enough, you can make yourself work hard enough. But when it comes to the result, no, you are when there are certain things you can't control, so that could give you anxiety. And if you convince yourself going through that phase, it's something that gives others motivation as well. Okay, so let's come to the next question. You come from a lower middle class family when you started, right? And I feel like that's not background context, that's the fuel of becoming something, right? So growing up, when you have success coming from that background, and when you see yourself as whatever you're doing, and you see that okay, this is working, gives you immense uh, happiness. So what that success mean to you, like especially coming from that background, when you figured it out that I whatever I'm doing is working out, what that success mean to you?
Yeah, success, of course, everyone wants to be successful. And I have always, like, since my childhood, I wanted to be a successful person. And I have no shame in admitting that, because why not, right? Why do we have to say, okay, we just want to just do this, do that? We want to be successful, and it's completely okay. And what success meant at that point was just a stable life, stable, financially stable, how I can help my family, how I can, support my father, and how I can, retire him as soon as possible that I could. That was my mindset at that point. That if I that that point I thought, okay, if I do this, I'll be successful. But of course, then there are, when you get an opportunity, like, running a business, running a, because I think this opportunity is a privilege in itself. Even though I have built it from scratch, but this is mine. It's a privilege to have that, right? For myself right now. And right now, it's not just that, like, family of course is the priority. It's always going to be. But now you also know you have a bigger vision, bigger picture, that you can see, because it's not even just you right now. You have a team, like I have a team right now. We are working with so many clients all over the world. So it's also the impact on each and everyone's life, because through this agency so many people's livelihood runs. Through our work so many clients gets, business revenue. So it's like the impact is also part of the success. Of course, I want to reach some, huge milestones in business. Those are success too. But also at the end of the at the end, I want to know that okay, I'm making some impact in the process, in my capacity. It doesn't have to be like I don't have to change the world right now, but I can do as much as I can. So yes, definitely success means like finding that balance between, the business growth, also the impact. That's success to me.